Okay, so what we're looking at here is from that second mock paper that I sent out, and this is the jug question. So it's section B, question B2. So what I've done is I've done the setup. The scale was 1:2. So this red circle here was radius 37.5 or diameter 75. I drew the triangle in front elevation. You were given its height, and then I stepped up then 60 and 70 to get these lines going across here, which allowed me to get this shape up here. Now part A asks us to draw the front elevation and to finish the plan and to also draw an end view, and that's what this video is going to show here. So that's the setup. The next stage now will be drawing or finishing the plan. Now if you look at the question, you would think that there's another circle in here in plan, but it's not a circle, it's an ellipse. And for us to find that shape in plan, we have to use a technique called horizontal cutting planes. So what I'm going to do is in front elevation, now you would use your T-square for this. I'm going to draw a horizontal line across, HCP. Okay. The first thing I do is I get my compass and I go from the middle of the cone to the outside of the cone. So you might need to just zoom in on the camera to see that. But the middle of the cone to the outside of the cone. I then go down to plan and I draw that circle right around. Now you're going to be doing this quite a few times, so don't draw the circles too heavy. Then back in front elevation, where that circle that I've just drawn crosses the cutting plane, which is right here, I'm going to bring that down into plan. And I'm going to find 2 points. And both of those points are on the ellipse that we're trying to find down here in plan. And I'm going to repeat the process a number of times in order to find enough dots to get the shape down in plan. So again, horizontal line across. I put the point of my compass in the middle, pencil to the outside, draw that circle down in plan. Now they'll be quite close to each other, the circles, because the line is very flat. Where that appears to cross over, I bring that straight down. I find 2 more points on my ellipse in plan, and I keep repeating the process. Now I should be using a T-square to draw these lines across. I don't have a T-square because I'm drawing on a round table, so you will be able to use a T-square. You can use sliding set squares as well to go perpendicular to the axis of the cone, if you wish. But make sure you're drawing horizontal lines across. Okay. Now there are 2 dots that are very important. The very end point here, so that's where this heavy line finishes right on the outside of the cone. That will be a vertex on the ellipse, and that will be on one of the axes down in plan. This corner here is also very important. And when you have enough dots got, that you feel confident that you can draw it down in plan, draw it in plan, but really for the leave insert, what they'll be looking for is a minimum of 6 points. 6. I always try and tell you in class that if it's a full shape, a full circular kind of a shape, aim for 12 and half, aim for 6. Whichever method you take, I don't mind, but try and make sure you have enough dots to draw it in. Now it does look quite circular, and the reason for that is because the cutting plane in front elevation is nearly horizontal. What I mean by nearly horizontal is that it's closer to flat than it is closer to 90. So that means that you're nearly getting a circular shape in this view. Okay. Now the next job then is to draw the end view. Now you're asked to draw the end view in the direction of A. So that means you are standing here looking at the object, which means that the end view will have to appear on this side. So from the widest point, we draw one 45-degree line right across. And we are going to find the cone first in end view. So I'm bringing the bottom of the cone across. I'm bringing it up. Bringing the top across. And it'll look very similar to the front elevation. It'll still be a inverted or an upside down triangle in plan. So I'm just bringing the widest points of the cone first around. Still diameter 75. And I get my cone. Now, next job is just to get this shape to appear up here. It's going to look like a squashed ellipse. So there's a couple of ways you can do this. You could get the major or minor axis and draw it using concentric circles or using the Trammell method, because it will be a perfect ellipse up here. I'm just going to keep using the 45 and bring things across. So I'm just going to call this dot here 1, and then I'm going to find where 1 and 1 is down here. 1, 1, 2, 2 and 2, 3, 4, and then finally 5 and 5, and then this vertex 6 and 6. I'm going to bring them all around through the 45 and up. So if I bring this one across the 45 and I bring it vertically up, I bring this one across to meet it, and that finds a point 1, which will also be the same for the other one on this side down here. And I just keep doing that. So now I'm doing number 2. Nothing difficult here. The only reason why you're using 45 degrees, basic junior cert orthographic projection, we're just turning the object through 90 degrees. So to turn any object through an angle, you use half the angle, and half of 90, what we're trying to do, half of 90 is 45. Bringing the 3's across. Fours across. And 5 across. And 6 across. And you end up with a squashed ellipse in the end view. And then this line is still heavy here. It's heavy up as far as 5, and it's heavy up as far as 5 on this side. And that's part A.